If you're ready to defeat your friends, your family, your loved ones, or yourself in Disney trivia, you're in the right place.
I'm Bambi.
Nope. We're not doing that version of Bambi. We're doing the classic animated version. Welcome into the most magical game show on earth. As always, I am your host, Bryan Perri, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Disney Jeopardy. Like I just showed you, Bambi is one of your 5 categories, but what will join it? Well, 4 other categories will. So we take a look at the board to find out what they are. Second up is Timeline. Timeline is followed by DWE Champion. Your theme park category is Name That Sign. And finally, the Club DJ members had the power to select that which is correct would be a category this week. It pulls in over 50% of the vote. It's kind of crazy that it's taken me over 160 episodes to do this category, but what I'll be showing you is 2 different images. One of them is actually taken from a Disney piece of media. The other one has been altered a little bit. Maybe someone's wearing the wrong color or something like that. You have to tell me which of the 2 is the right one. And with that, it is now time for the easiest round of the game, the cupcake round. Bambi will lead us off. Bambi's first word. Shout out to all the long-time Disney Jeopardy viewers. This is pretty crazy. I'm doing Bambi here in episode 163. The original Bambi category that I did was episode 63, 100 episodes ago. And in that one, I revealed to you, if you hadn't seen the movie yet, that bird is the first word that Bambi speaks.
Those are birds. Bird.
And if you are a Bambi fan, be sure to go back to episode 63 when you are done with this one in order to get 5 more clues all about the classic Disney movie. All right, moving on now. We're going to Timeline now. In Timeline, I'll have a clue on your screen with 3 different images representing 3 things that have happened in Disney history. You'll have to put them in chronological order. They're all separated by either a year or 2. Here's your first clue from the category. Splash Mountain closes at the Magic Kingdom. Bob Iger replaces Bob Chapek as CEO, and Inside Out 2 comes out. Now again, you didn't have to tell me the years that this happened. You just have to put them in the correct order. And that correct order is Bob Iger went back to CEO after appointing Bob Chapek and saying, nah, this ain't working. I'm going back. Splash Mountain closed next. That was in 2023. Inside Out 2 came out in 2024. WrestleMania was this past weekend. I have done a Disney Mania category in the past, which was a play on fights that happened in Disney films. Then I also did Disney Mania, the album. But in this DWE Champions category that is coming up, I'll be asking you questions about certain actors who have partaken in Disney projects who started their career as wrestlers. Here we go. Before main eventing WrestleMania 42 against each other, Roman Reigns and CM Punk each voiced zebras in this Disney film. So these 2 hated rivals not only put their differences aside to voice zebras, but they actually voiced Zebros. I think they do that at some point in the movie. That's right. Punk and Reigns were the Zebros in Zootopia 2.
Zebros! Zebros! Zebros!
All right, it is now time for Name That Sign, but I'm actually going to call it Name Those Signs because you have to name 3 different ones for each of these clues. I've cut out letters from individual ride signs at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. You have to tell me the 3 rides the letters are from. Here's your first clue. PJP. Name the 3 attraction signs these letters come from. So your first P comes from Peter Pan's Flight. Your J comes from the Jungle Cruise. And the other P comes from Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland. All right, let's finish off the 200-point round with which is correct. One of these is a famous shot from The Lion King of Simba and his friends Timon and Pumbaa crossing a log. Which one is correct? Top or bottom? Simba may be the king of the jungle, but let's be real. Timon was always going to lead that line. The correct answer is the bottom. Cupcake round complete. Let's keep on moving to the 400-point round. We travel back to Bambi. The word friend owl uses to describe someone overcome by romantic feelings, often accompanied by nervous excitement. The word he uses is Twitter-pated.
Why are they acting that way?
Why, don't you know? They're Twitter-pated.
You want to impress someone with your vocabulary? Just start using Twitter-pated. They won't ask any questions. All right, let's move on now to the 400-point clue from Timeline. Put these in order. Lost premieres on ABC. Kingdom Hearts comes out here in North America. And Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl releases in theaters. Well, first up, we go back to 2002 for the release of the video game, Kingdom Hearts. Next up, we meet Jack Sparrow for the first time. Should be Captain Jack Sparrow. That was 2003. Lost comes last. That debuted in 2004. Love me some Lost. All right, on to DWE Champions for the second time. A former world heavyweight champion, this actor brought Drax to life in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. Back in his wrestling days, he was often called the Animal. On set, they might call him Dave. His actual name is Dave Bautista. And there he is. There's Drax with little Bryan back in the day. My entire torso is the size of his bicep. Still trying to catch up to you, Dave. All right, we move on. It's name those signs for 4. GMB. What rides are these signs tied to? Well, the G comes from Epcot's Grand Fiesta Tours, starring the Three Caballeros. Next up, it is the M from Toy Story Mania, or Toy Story Midway Mania. And finally, the B is from Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. We finish off the 400s with which is correct. We've got Mickey on the left, we've got Mickey on the right. The difference is one of them has a tail. In Steamboat Willie, which is correct? It's kind of crazy because I used to use this intro all the time for Disney Jeopardy. Shout out to you if you remember that. But fun fact, it wasn't the actual Steamboat Willie I was using. In fact, I was using a fake version of it that did not include a tail. Now that it is public domain, I can happily use Mickey with the tail, which is the correct one. We move on now to the 600-point round where things get even harder. Here's your first clue from Bambi. You know what? Forget 600 points. This clue could be worth a heck of a lot more. Welcome to your daily double. It is the 4,400th clue in this show's history, and it could be worth as much as 3,000 points. That's if you got all 10 clues correct. If you were trying to wager more than 3,000, you're a cheater. You're a liar and a cheater. Maximum of 3,000 points to be wagered right now. I suggest you wager as much as you can because, this isn't real money. All right, let's read your daily double clue. This is who told Thumper, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. It's a nice lesson that was taught to Thumper, even if it is a double negative and doesn't make any sense grammatically. Either way, the correct answer is Thumper's father. Yes, Thumper's father is the one who said it. His mother was the one who was just reminding him.
What did your father tell you this morning?
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Here comes Timeline for 600 points. Pixar releases its first feature-length film. Beauty and the Beast debuts on Broadway. And the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, an NHL team owned by Disney, plays their first game. All right, so the original Mighty Ducks movie came out in 1992. Before the second one even came out, we had an NHL team owned by Disney. That team played its first game in 1993. That puts it in first place here. Coming in second, 1994, was Beauty and the Beast, making its Broadway debut in New York. And finally, Pixar released Toy Story in 95. Halfway point of the game means it's time for DWE Champions. Before voicing a demigod, The Rock played a football player in this 2007 live-action Disney movie. Anyone seen The Game Plan? Here's your third clue from Name That Sign. It says Matt, but actually it's 3 different letters from 3 different signs, M, A, and T. The M comes from Haunted Mansion. The A comes from Tiana's Bayou Adventure. That's the A from Adventure. Finally, the T is the new T for Test Track. Let's finish off the 600s with which is correct. There is Snow Prince kissing Snow White. What color was his cape? The prince had a red cape. Moving on now to the 800-point round. Here's Bambi again. Sterling Holloway voiced a number of early iconic Disney characters like Winnie the Pooh, Mr. Stork from Dumbo, Kaa from The Jungle Book, and this character from Bambi. Sterling Holloway is somebody who absolutely deserves a Disney Jeopardy category. I'll probably do that in a week or 2 because of all the famous characters he voiced. One of the most famous ones comes from Bambi, and it was Flower.
What's going on round here?
It's happened.
Happened?
Yes, in the thicket. Hurry up, Bambi.
Here's your 4th clue from Timeline. Walt Disney introduces us to his Florida project and his plans for Epcot, the city. Disney heads to the World's Fair in New York and brings with him 4 new attractions. And The Jungle Book is released. Put them in order. Well, you can see the 4 famous attractions right in the middle there. Progress Land, aka the Carousel of Progress. Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, It's a Small World, and the Magic Skyway made their way to New York City in 1964. That was a year before Walt Disney introduced the Florida Project, aka his plans for Epcot. And finally, Jungle Book came out in 1967, sadly a year after Walt Disney passed away. Here comes DWE Champs for 8. One of the pioneers of wrestling, Andre the Giant, starred in this 20th Century Fox film and can now be streamed on Disney+. Andre the Giant had a big role in The Princess Bride. Here's Name That Sign. Should I say 3 different R's? What are they from? The first R is from Rock and Roller Coaster, starring the Muppets pretty soon. The second one is from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And finally, the third R is from Radiator Springs Racers. Final clue before the 1000s belongs to which is correct. We love a little Lady and the Tramp. Can you tell which one is from the actual scene? Is Lady on the left or is she on the right? If you said the correct answer was the right one, then you are right. Congratulations. 20 clues are down and 6 remain, including Final Jeopardy. But before we get there, you know what time it is. It is time for the most overly dramatic soundtrack infused unnecessarily. Spotlight. Part of the game, the 1,000-point round. Thanks to everyone who reached out on Cameo over the last couple of weeks. I appreciate it. If you want a personalized video, head over to DisneyJeopardy.com. But for now, we advance to the 1,000-point round, which begins with the final clue from my favorite childhood movie, Bambi. The year the film came out. This might surprise a lot of you, but Bambi did not do well when it debuted at the box office, and Disney blamed that on the fact that we were in the middle of a war. The year is 1942, and Walt said, I don't think a lot of people had interest in watching the troubles of a deer when they had a lot of troubles of their own. Very sad. But with time, Bambi became beloved. We move on. It's your final clue from Timeline. Michael Eisner becomes CEO of the Walt Disney Company. The Black Cauldron comes out in theaters, and the Disney Channel is launched. We travel back to 1983, the first one of these three. That is the Disney Channel launching. 1984 brought us Michael Eisner as CEO, and the Black Cauldron came out in 1985. We're winding down here. Here's your final DWE champion. Referred to by WWE as the greatest of all time, John Cena voiced a bull in this animated film that was acquired by Disney after their purchase of 20th Century Fox. I'm a huge John Cena fan. I think he's a great guy. He's granted more Make-A-Wish Foundation wishes than anybody in the sports and entertainment world. So shout out John Cena. But what bull did he voice just a few years ago? How about Ferdinand? Here's your final clue from the signs category. Yeah. SSS. What are they from? Why don't we work backwards? That green S on the right is from Walt Disney World Space Mountain. The S in the middle comes from Slinky Dog Dash at Hollywood Studios. The S on the left comes from Soarin' out at California Adventure. It's the final clue on the board, and it belongs to which is correct. Here's a look at Baloo from the aforementioned Jungle Book. He's wearing a coconut bra in one picture. He's not wearing it in the other. Which one is correct? All the way back in episode 39 of Disney Jeopardy, I did a Mandela Effects category. Check it out if you're into that kind of thing. There might not be a bigger example of a Mandela effect than this one. Was Baloo wearing the coconut bra? The correct answer is no, he was not. Why is that a Mandela effect, and why do certain people swear that he did? Hey, that's beyond me. I have no idea. But I can give you an example of someone who thought he wore a coconut bra. That would be Disneyland in Paris. Yeah, they had Baloo going out wearing the bra, even though he didn't wear it in the film, unless he did. Another timeline. It's just seeping into our timeline, and our timelines are crossing, just like they crossed in a lot of the Marvel movies. And like, well, anyway, I don't want to get carried away, but it is pretty weird. All right, 25 clues down, one remains. Just so happens to be the one clue of the game that will ultimately determine how proud of yourself you will be for the next 7 days. It's Final Jeopardy time, which means it's time we spin the wheel of mythicality. Just kidding, not mythicality, of Disney. Let's go. Oh, snap. Talk about a heavyweight. This is a heavy hitter. Perhaps the greatest Disney animated film of all time returns to Disney Jeopardy. It is Beauty and the Beast. Having already done a Beauty and the Beast category, I could just do it again. Probably should just do it again, but it has such an iconic soundtrack, we're going to focus on the music of Beauty and the Beast. So make your wagers based on how confident you are on Beauty and the Beast tunes. All right, time's up. Next week, I'll be asking you 5 clues about the soundtrack from Beauty and the Beast. Likely a lot of lyric clues, and hopefully you know your lyrics. You're not someone like me who swears that they love all Disney music and then can't sing anything past the chorus. Guilty as charged. Here's your final clue of the game from Beauty and the Beast music. Fill in the correct lyric from the song Gaston. In a wrestling match, nobody blanks like Gaston. Good luck. And time is up. You know how Gaston talks about how he has biceps to spare. You would think that he doesn't have to cheat when it comes to wrestling somebody. That is not the case, according to the song. If you fill in the lyric, you get, in a wrestling match, nobody bites like Gaston. And yeah, that's not allowed.
Like Gaston does his life like Gaston.
In a wrestling match, nobody fights like Gaston.
And that does it for episode 163 of Disney Jeopardy. Thank you so very much for watching. Bunny Eclipse, did you have fun today? You were operating the camera, you were running the graphics, you were coming up with the questions. Yeah, had a good time? Good. I'm glad she said yes. We speak telepathically. I hope these pets had a good time too. Check out the Disney Jeopardy pets. Once again, if you want to include your little friend or sidekick in a future episode of the most magical game show on earth. Look at these guys. Just head over to my Instagram and send me a message with a picture of them watching Disney Jeopardy. It's now time for the Club DJ poll, where the Club DJ members will select one of these 3 categories to be included in next week's episode 164. Liars was kicked off a week ago. The runner-up was Credit Rolls, which means Credit Rolls has another shot right now. And once again, thank you to everybody for watching the show each and every week. If you don't watch the show, I don't make the show. So I appreciate you all so very much. Couldn't do it without your support. And you too, hi Dallas. You too. You know who you are. Now, you know the deal. If you like what you saw, do me a favor, subscribe, click that bell icon. Hello, bell. Gotta wear that shirt next week. This way, you're notified every time we come out with brand new content. I've been your host, Bryan Perri. This is your executive producer, Bunny Eclipse. We bid you adieu until next week. And now I need to give Bunny a bone. Sorry to all you pet owners out there, perhaps making other pets think they're getting a bone as well. But, you know, give them a treat. Give them a treat. Take it. Ready to get your treat?
Goodbye.